All right. Good morning, trader. Thanks for tuning into the morning brief. This is Corey, and yeah, it is Monday, March 8th. Oh man, I am still waking up. Jesus, definitely. In any event, let's get right to this thing. Wrong monitor. I just got a brand new Stream Deck, so I'm my monitors. Okay, so we are looking at the S&P futures here, and this Friday session right here, in the orangey red profile, and then we have the overnight session in cyan profile. So as you can see, Friday's session was a pretty big range, tested just above Friday's high during the overnight session here, found a little bit of rejection, however, started to trade back inside the range. Let's zoom in just a little bit to 10-minute chart. So as you can see here, again, this is the overnight session so far, futures, Friday session here. And when we opened up night session yesterday afternoon, we gapped up and then we were unable to hold above Friday's high, however, and then we started to trade back inside. So I was actually able to catch a really nice short here on this fall breakout, yeah, so it's looking pretty bearish actually. As we are kind of ranging in here, we're just about to retest Friday's high again, and we'll need to see what happens here, whether or not we're going to find rejection and the sellers are going to come back in, or whether we're going to break back, out of balance, out of Friday's range, and then I would actually have to switch my bias to a bullish bias. So, like I said, right now, just based on this rejection primarily, my bias is bearish. Also, we have the point of control weighted down here at the low end of the range. However, if we break back above Friday's high, I will be quickly switching my bias to bullish, and looking for a retest of likely 3,900, which is a major pivot high right up here. So that's pretty much what I have in store for you guys. Pull up my biases here. So my primary bias is, so I said, although value moved higher during Friday's session, the overnight is clearly bearish, suggesting that we may remain in balance. Looking for rejection at Friday's high, followed by a break back inside Friday's range, and a potential retest of the other extreme. And when I say the other extreme, I mean this low down here, basically. If we remain in balance, basically we would just range, range within. Anytime you're opening up in the prior day's value area, meaning Friday's value area, it's usually gonna be choppy. And if we get rejection up here, we'll be opening up in value, so therefore it's likely to be choppy. There very well may be a fight, because we had all the people that shorted in this section, right? And then Friday was actually really, really bullish. So, if this fails to hold up here, if we can't break back above Friday's high, then more than likely these buyers and the previous sellers are going to be fighting. So therefore, that it's going to be choppy. So we'll just need to see what happens up here at this extreme, whether or not we find rejection or not. So, all right. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Oh, and then my secondary bias here would be a false breakout near the overnight high. So that would mean that we would actually break up into this area a little bit and then crap out all the buyers, get back inside. However, the more we trade up here at this extreme, the more likely we are to break through. Yeah, I can look at ARK. But yeah, basically the more times you hit on a key level like that, the more likely it is to break. The more you trade up there, the more it suggests price acceptance. So we'll just need to see what happens up here, and go from there. Okay, sorry, give me 1 second. My second I got over here just decided to turn off on me for no reason. Okay, so let's spend a little time here. We'll talks. Also, I did in the weekend wrap when I posted on YouTube, I did post some setups. I there was a short setup on Disney, I remember. I'll have to double check and see. Whoops. I'll have to double check and see what I posted. And if you guys aren't aware, okay, Arc and Nvidia. Let me write those. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you guys aren't aware, I do a video every weekend on YouTube. You just search for the trade journals, and it's called the Weekend Wrap. And I've been posting equities setups. Um, so I do 3 good setups every weekend. For Monday. And anyways, it might be worth looking at. Okay, so we're gonna look at ARC, not AFK. Arkle Resources. Alright, so this is a penny stock, and this thing is largely in balance. So the reason I know that we're in balance here is the shape of the profile. You can see, well, it's more of a lowercase b shape. Anytime you get a very kind of rounded D-shaped profile like that, it suggests that there's balance there. But then we have this selling tail up here at the top. So normally, the way I trade these is short, because you've got most of the volume at the low. The point of control is right here. So, like I said, most of the volume is kind of weighted to the low, and then we have a selling tail up here on top, which suggests, I mean, you can see how aggressive the sellers were right at that level. Um, so that being said, I mean, it's just really hard to say. Um, it could really go either way, to be honest. I do see, I mean, clearly we're starting to build this trend line right here. Let's see, where are we? Oh, on. I can't see where this is trading at in pre-market. Huh. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Whoever called this out. Do you see what this is trading at in pre-market? I don't know if my data is just being weird here on TradingView or what. We'll bust out Nvidia in the meantime here. Okay, so Nvidia looks like it is down just a smidge in pre-market. So this is a pretty nice short setup. I would just be looking for continuation, a retest of this pivot low right here, and then a potential breakout. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, how to pronounce that? Like will? like Lick will? Yeah, if you can tell me what that's trading at in pre, I would really appreciate that. Um Advance. All right, anybody else have equities they would like me to take a peek at? If not, we can kind of go through the scanner and see what's moving here in pre. If I bust out filter by percent change in logic. Oh wait, sorry, that must have been that percent change is showing must have been from Friday's session. All right, I'm just gonna go through and find some setups unless people have something they want me to check. Oh, this was actually one of the setups that I called out in the weekend wrap. So this is Solaris Oilfield Infrastructure, or SOI. That's the ticker, and I'd be looking for a breakout above this level right here around 1275. So the one thing that I did want to mention though is you can see that we failed to retest trend line here. So I was a little bit concerned that we might get a breakout that fails and then trades back to the trend line. So if you decide to take this long, just what I would do is once you start getting a decent amount of headroom up here, I would just move your stop right right there, basically. So if it does fail, you're gonna take a really loss on it. So again, this is ticker SOI. Okay, so this is T-Mobile right here, and this thing is in a definitely in a trading range. And right now, I likely just gonna need a retracement before it continues higher. So yeah, no good setup here. Alright, man, Chevron has just been crushing it. If you guys have been following oil's been doing really, really, really well. All this stimulus has helped out quite a bit. And yeah, so again, this is Chevron right here. It's gone from $84 up to 109 about since February 1st. So yeah, if you got in on Chevron, man, you would have done really well on that. That being said, though, oil is starting to get where its historical high is, um, you know, historically close to its highs. If we look at a daily chart here, this is CL or the excuse me, the oil futures. So this is price action for oil futures, and this is going back on the left side here. This is August of 2019. So you can see that historically, I mean, this is actually a week high that was created back in 2019. So if I get a line marker, you can see that we tested this high here, here, and now here. So this would be really a really cool trade actually to see a break above $65, take out this weak high and trade all the way up to 77. That would be great. And then of course I would be expecting a retracement. But yeah, my only point is we are nearing the historical highs for crude oil. So, albeit, stuff like Chevron is way, way up. I don't see a whole lot of headroom. You always want to like look at how much headroom you have on the trade. Like you can count like, okay, where's my target? Okay, how many ATRs is that? And that can help you to kind of factor in your risk reward. You always want to have like at least 2 ATR or something like that between your next target or your next significant resistance area. All right, guys, let's get some engagement here. What anybody else want me to check some stocks on their behalf? What are you guys trading? Give me some ideas. I'm gonna just start calling out names. Alexander, Alexander Moretongue. What positions you got on right now? You trading as people leave? That's sad. Okay. Alrighty. So we're just gonna keep on rolling here if nobody else has requests as per equities to check. Let's just keep finding some setups here, and we're bound to find something good for you guys. All right, Victory Capital. It looks like it's putting in a bull flag here. 5 minute. Let's yeah. The way that looks. Bear with me, guys. Okay, big gap up on Exxon Mobil, ticker XOM. So you can see this is where we closed at during Friday's session. This is where we're opening at in pre. So it's a good 50-cent gap on that. And this thing, like Chevron, has been crazy bullish. You can see we're putting in this rising wedge here. So we've got multiple formations going on. Um, got that. Got this. We broke out of that rising wedge, and this is where we're opening at in pre. Pinterest, nice. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at that here shortly. So yeah, we just busted out of that rising wedge here, so that's looking really bullish. So I would love to see a retest of that trend line and then a really nice break off of that support level. So we'll just need to see kind of how it reacts here in pre-market. But yeah, Exxon Mobil. Like I said though, oil is nearing the historical highs. So if you're gonna trade oil, just know that it may be looking for a correction here shortly or a breakout. We'll have to see what happens. It was a weak high, so all right, Pinterest. Gotcha. So Pinterest is gapping down a little bit in pre. You can see that we had this wedge formation. All right, so yeah, we had this wedge formation. I was a little bit surprised actually that this thing broke because it was looking pretty bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if it does a little juke and then trades back, craps out all those shorts. So we'll just kind of need to see what happens here at the open. So that being said, though, I mean, if this thing does continue downward, I'd be looking for a retest of get some horizontal support here. All right, so we've got this key support, or not key support, but we've got the support level down here at 65.65. And then this definitely a key support level down here at 60.56. No worries, bud. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so in any event, so I'd be looking for a potential break of this level down to 65.76 or so. And then we'll just have to see what happens, if we can find support there, or if we're going to continue lower and retest this 60.50 level. And good morning, Merge. All right. So again, this was Pinterest that we were just looking at. Okay, so let me just bust out. I want to look at some of the stuff that's moving here in pre. Just pre-market data or not? I can't recall. I don't check. I'm a futures trader. I just primarily check out the equities for your guys' benefit. And also it's good to stay informed on multiple markets, regardless. Yeah. To be honest, I can't recall if I can get pre-market data off of TradingView or not. I think I can off Market Chameleon here. Pre-market trading. All right, let's see what's moving here. Full data set. Okay. So ANCN is up 83%. ANCN. Let's check that real fast. I'm gonna or something. Yeah, look at that gap, guys. Jesus Christ, look at this. So this is where this thing is opening in pre, where my cursor is. This is where it closed at on Friday's session. So we're gonna need to switch to a higher time frame so we can see what levels we have in this area because we're way above where it normally trading at. Um, okay, so this thing is clearly very volatile, and you can see that put in this massive spike up here to just above $10, and that's where it failed. So, as far as key levels and stuff goes, we've got this pivot right here at 580. I would suspect that that level's probably going to be retested at some point during today's session. So we gapped up all the way to here, and I'd be looking for a retest of 580, and just need to see if we find rejection there or not. Like I said, that is going to be a key resistance level. If we are able to break above 580 though, I mean, the sky's really the limit. This is all one big fat low volume node in this area. So if we can break up into that level, we're much more likely to retest the highs up there near $10. Again, this is ANCN. And granted, this is potentially a big spike on news. So, albeit all my trading setups that I take are pretty much structural. I don't really trade news or hype or anything like that. You might just want to check the news on this guy because clearly this thing, I mean, you got zero volume, zero volume, zero volume, and then just a gigantic spike. So usually that's going to be because of news. All right, so see if we can't find something just a little bit more reasonable. 8 minutes till the open, guys. This will be my last stock here, and then I get it ready for my session. Actually, let me just check the futures again. Okay, so we were talking about how whether or not we would find traction up here near Friday's high, and how that was going to affect whether or not I would be bullish or bearish on the day. And like we are finding just a bit of rejection here, but it's still too soon to say. So yeah, we'll need to wait for the open. This thing is starting to drop though, so oops, sorry, I didn't realize Friday session was off the screen there. In any event, so like I said, I'll be closely monitoring this level near Friday's high to see if we are gonna find rejection or not. If the bears are going to hold, this Friday's high needs to hold. If Friday's high does not hold, then I'm switching my bias and I'll be looking for longs. So, all right, guys, one more stock and then I gotta get out of here. We're gonna look at eyes. I saw somebody post that in the chat, and that thing's also up almost 50% in pre. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so this is a 1 hour chart, and I'm gonna switch to a faster time frame here. All right, this thing is looking very interesting. So you can see we've got a couple different resistance levels there, one at 988, and we've got this resistance right where we're opening at in pre at $8.57. So we gapped all the way back up here, and now we've got a weak high. So just like a battering ram, the more times you bang on a key level, the more likely it is to break. So I would actually be looking for a potential breakout through that level or retest of 988. And in all likelihood, because that's such an easy, narrow area to run over, possible breakout. So I think this thing looks great. If we can continue getting good volume on it, I think this is a great setup with potentially quite a bit of volatility. So again, this is EYES, EYES. But again, like I said, guys, this stuff, it usually pops on news, so it might be worth just plugging it into Google real fast to see what's going on, why it's spiking. So the only thing I would note is that you 5 minutes to open. We pushed up on really strong volume initially, and albeit volume is coming back up a little bit, it's not nearly as strong as it was. So it may not have quite as much volatility, but that being said, it's still definitely worth looking at. All right, guys. Well, that is it for me today. I just wanted to thank you so much for tuning in. And sorry, my light went out. I gotta get a wider USB rig because my light's running off of my second computer right now, which apparently keeps going to sleep on me, which turns out my stupid light. Anyways, thanks again so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.